Mic check. Mic. Sorry again about that.
Dude, you're all good, man.
I just had to switch out the mic to loud because the stick was very low. So.
I think I went over tidy last time.
Yeah, the piece at the bottom about to fall off. It needs to be reconnected. Okay. Yeah, it's like a wireless.
Nobody bumped the standing
Sorry. Hey, dude, you're out your way.
Our tech at Fox 54 is so unpredictable.
It's up there. Yeah, it's up there. Farmhouse is good. I think your warrants takes I think it might be.
Cobra, just come on this side. Come up a little bit. Right there, that's good. Y'all come a little closer. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Tyler Bailey. I represent Ms. Cobra to my right, and these are her family and friends here to support her. Unfortunately, we're here not for a positive moment during this holiday season, but unfortunately, on November 26th, Ms. Cobra, Chrissy Cobra, a tax-paying, hard-working citizen of Edgefield County, did what she had a fundamental right to do, and what all responsible citizens do and should do is look at their tax bill, and if they have questions, go to the public officials about those questions. That's exactly what she did. She reviewed her tax assessment, so she went to the tax assessor's office, and she had a meeting with the tax assessor. That video has been disseminated, so many people have seen it already, but Ms. Colbert is simply asking questions. Unfortunately, Mr. Coleman, who is a duly appointed tax assessor, Benjamin Jerry Coleman, in that moment, he gets up. You can see he's clearly agitated from receiving questions from a citizen. Ms. Colbert knew when she was walking in there that this thing may go south, so she was recording. During that whole interaction, Mr. Coleman goes from behind his desk and he attacks Ms. Colbert right there in the tax assessor's office. She was injured. She had a black eye. She had to get medical treatment. And the tax assessor went on about his day and eventually left. Ms. Colbert notified authorities, and this was the day before Thanksgiving. She told them about it, and Mr. Coleman was allowed to enjoy the holidays, Thanksgiving, the entire weekend, and he was ultimately turned himself in the following week. And this case isn't just really about what happened to Ms. Colbert. It's really diabolical to think that a taxpaying, hardworking citizen of Edgefield County could go to the tax assessor's office and be attacked in that moment. It's a traumatizing moment. It was humiliating for her, a black woman, doing what she thought was best, to try to ask questions, to be attacked. And what we're asking for is going to be full justice and accountability here. There needs to be some public reckoning. I would encourage the entire Edgefield County leadership to publicly condemn the tax assessor and affirm the rights of citizens, those who have questions regarding their fundamental right as taxpayers about their tax assessment, that they should be able to do that without being intimidated, without being humiliated, without being assaulted, without having the civil rights violated like Ms. Colbert did. And Ms. Colbert was really just trying to go through her healing process, and this story got out, and she thought it was necessary to give her side of the story and address the media herself. So I encourage, applaud her for doing this. It's tough, especially when she wants to be able to enjoy the holidays with her family, but she's here today to address media for the first time. And so I'll allow her to speak. We'll take some brief questions if we can, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Christy, and I went to go do my taxes, and there was an issue. And as I was approaching the window, the lady asked me, do I want to speak to her supervisor, because he denied, saying that he was going to give me 2 years in credit for my taxes. So as I was going back, I walked in his office, and immediately he started speaking aggressively to me. And that's when I began to record him. And as a taxpayer, I had the right to ask the questions that I asked. And he became very aggressive towards me. And that's when the mayhem happened, and he physically assaulted me.
Now, a couple things about that. We truthfully believe there's no way he would have felt emboldened to do this to Ms. Colbert if she wasn't a black woman. And that's just a fact. Something went through his head that day, and he felt comfortable enough to attack her. Her civil rights were absolutely violated. I had a conversation with her earlier this morning. She said in her 51 years of life, she has never been hit by a man. And the time that she's hit is when she goes to the tax assessor's office to try to pay her taxes. It's really a shame that this happened, and it's really a shame that there's been no public outreach to Ms. Colbert from Edgefield County leadership. The tax assessor hasn't publicly, as a member of a public trust who's taken an oath of office, hasn't apologized for what he's done and accepted responsibilities for his actions. And so not only are we seeking justice for Ms. Colbert, there needs to be some really public reckoning here. I would encourage Edgefield County leadership to make a statement. I think the South Carolina Attorney General's office should investigate if any other taxpayers have been intimidated, harassed, or oppressed in trying to ask questions regarding their tax bill. There's no telling how many people this has happened to. Mr. Coleman is not a young man. He's 75 years old. He's been in office for some time, and I think there really needs to be some oversight now regarding taxpayers and if they've been intimidated like Ms. Colbert has at this moment. She's going to be focused on her healing moving forward. We will be pursuing a case against Edgefield County along with the tax assessor and the tax assessor's office and any other culpable parties. But more importantly, we hope that this Ms. Colbert having the courage to talk will result in taxpayers in Edgefield County being treated more fairly. We'll take some questions if we can, and please just direct them to me first. Any for Ms. Colbert, I'll make sure she can answer those questions because we do have a pending legal action going.
I think for starters, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you mentioned the reasoning of the conversation escalating when the conversation between Ms. Colbert and the tax assessor happened. It sounded like it didn't escalate, and that's when the assault happened. Did you you mention, and do you believe it's because of her skin color? Is that correct?
I believe that something went through his head where he felt comfortable enough to attack her. Now, there was nothing that he said, as far as I know at this moment, that was any racial slurs, but something went through his head when a black woman is going to pay her taxes, has questions regarding her taxes. He felt offended about those questions and he attacked her. I think the facts in the video speak for themselves. People who have experienced walking through life as an African American know that sometimes you will be questioned or doubted or even may have felt inferior when dealing with your government who should be serving you. And here, not only was she questioned, was she blown off, she was physically attacked. And so I think the facts speak for themselves, simply like you would see in many cases throughout our country's history, civil rights movement, but even today, some altercations and incidents in the police setting and in the school setting. And Ms. Colbrook's setting was the tax assessor's office.
And it sounds like, based on your statements, it sounds like it's your belief this is not the first time Mr. Coleman's done this. Is that your belief?
He has a reputation for what we know so far of being hostile, of being aggressive, and being intimidating, and that's what we just figured out in the last week or so. And so we'll get more information. I don't know if he has any other history of attacking people. If he has attacked other people in office and that has not been exposed until now, he's been off office for some time, that's a serious problem. That's why we definitely believe there should be some oversight and investigation into the incident.
What were the questions that got him so agitated during that interaction? What were the questions?
Well, I think it was mainly being questioned at all. Being questioned is what got him agitated. But I'll let Ms. Cobra speak more directly towards what those questions were concerning.
I asked him a question about giving me the tax credit for the 2 years. They gave me the tax credit for 1 year, that was Monday, and I went back because to pay the taxes. And that's when I asked the question, why aren't you giving me the second year as you guys promised? And when I brought up a particular name, he got very agitated. And I asked him, I said, I don't know what your displeasure is from the seller to me because I don't have anything to do with her. That's when he became very agitated, when I mentioned a particular name.
Why do you feel like now was an important time to come out and share your side of the story now that the video's out there?
Because I have never been hit by a male. And in 2025, I got assaulted by not only a male, but to me, a white male. My father never hit me. My grandfather, who raised me, never touched me. And even just being in relationships, I've never been beat or anything by a male. And that's the reason why I feel it should be known.
Ms. Colbert, how long have you been living in Edgefield County?
I have been a resident of Edgefield County all my life.
Have you ever experienced treatment like the way that you say that you did by a county official in those all the years that you lived in Edgefield County?
No, sometimes they could be hostile in the government environment there, but not as far as physical, no.
And maybe I could just ask, maybe you can both answer this question. You talk about accountability you're looking for on the part of Edgefield County in this situation. What kind of accountability are you both looking for in this case in terms of county leadership?
Well, first, I think that this is out in the public square now, and I think that county leadership should publicly affirm citizens that they should be safe in interacting with their government. No citizen should feel intimidated. It's completely uncalled for a public official to attack a citizen when they're exercising their fundamental duties. And I think that this is a moment where Edgefield County leadership should speak up publicly and disavow what happened, but also affirm citizens. Because if you are scared to have questions regarding your taxes, those are some things that our country was founded upon. And so now in 2025, you're seeing on video an African-American woman in Edgefield County in the South being intimidated and attacked in a public office by a public official. And so I think this is not a minor incident. And when moments come up like this, public officials have a duty to the people they serve to call it out and affirm citizens that if it isn't common, that this is an outlier and citizens should feel safe. And that's a part of accountability I think we need from Edgefield County, and of course the criminal justice system will play out regarding Mr. Coleman's individual criminal responsibility. And Ms. Colbert has healing that she needs to focus on, and she should be able to be made whole, not only for her injuries, but what she is walking through today.
Should Mr. Coleman step down?
I believe she should immediately step down. Yeah, there's no way I believe that a public official in office who is outright intimidating others has any place in exercising their duties, because clearly he's shown that he's not able to.
You mentioned that she had a feeling before going to it that things could go south, so due to that was her recording. Why? Two questions, I guess, in this. What was the cause for that feeling, and was the recording, did you mention that you were recording at all to Coleman?
Yes, because he got aggressive when I first walked in. His tone changed and it escalated. And I told him in the process, I said, I want you to know I'm recording you. And that's when he even became more aggressive to me.
What's the duration of the total recording?
We can't speak directly to that, but it's probably about maybe 2 minutes.
Okay. Would you be willing to release the entire recording?
Yeah, we would. And there wasn't anything chopped up. What you see is once, and I think it's approximately about 2 minutes. You see the conversation, and then you see her get hit, and that's when the video stops. And she was attacked. She was hit more than once, too.
How many times?
I can't say exactly right now. I mean, it was a real traumatizing moment at the setting, but she went to seek emergency treatment afterwards, and she was hit more than once.
Was there anybody else in the office at the time, and who may have seen it, or what was the aftermath after what you saw?
There was two females in the office, and she got up and just kept saying, "Mr. Jerry, stop! Mr. Jerry, stop!" And I believe he would continue to hit me if she didn't grab his attention and saying stop.
Had you ever met Mr. Coleman before the incident?
I have dealt with him once before, but that was years ago.
And one thing I will say, just for the media is aware, there is an ongoing criminal case, and so any more disseminating of any materials will need to be done with thought in mind about the criminal case and the civil case. So we'll release as much information as we can.
What do next steps look like for you?
Well, next step first I would like to see is one of the things I've harped on, which is some public comments from Edgefield County leadership. I'd like to see that happen immediately. Ms. Colbert will be focusing on her healing. I would like to see an investigation opened by the South Carolina Attorney General's office into the tax assessor's office to ensure that there's been no other intimidation or persecution of taxpayers asking questions. And then we'll be taking legal action in the coming weeks.
Have you been contacted by law enforcement in their investigation of this incident?
No.
Any other questions? Well, thank you for your time, and if there's any follow-up that y'all have, please feel free to reach out to me directly. I will ask anybody to respect Ms. Colbert's privacy, especially during the holidays and having the experience that she had right before Thanksgiving, and we will be taking legal action in the coming days. It will likely be filed in federal court. That's why we're in front of the federal courthouse. And again, public officials in Edgefield County, I do think it's really incumbent on you all right now to not let this moment pass by without reaffirming your citizens and taxpayers that they should feel safe exercising their fundamental right and questioning any tax bills that they receive. Thank you.
I made my own time.